What's up guys, Rhino here and welcome to my latest FIFA 19 Ultimate Team video. And this particular video guys is going to be something a little bit different to what I've done previously. I mean, usually I can sort of focus on like the SBC, stuff like that. I actually want to focus on the weekly objectives this week just because I feel like they are quite an important part of this particular week in the FIFA calendar. It's the only thing that people are really talking about, to be honest, so I think it's probably right that I should kind of talk you guys through it. I suppose you could say I'm kind of giving you tips, but I mean there isn't kind of like one specific way to do this because obviously it involves just winning games. But as you can see, there's two objectives here which I have completed, which is to get the FUT birthday Naldo and the FUT birthday Gervinho. Naldo involves winning 7 online single matches using 11 common French league players. You're not allowed to use any players from any of the other kind of major leagues, so Premier League, Serie A, Bundesliga and La Liga. You're also not allowed to use any icons, which is, I mean, that's fantastic. And no flashback cards either, because I think EA kind of realised that everybody uses flashback Ibra all the time, and quite frankly everybody else is just sick of it. So I think that's the sort of thing that they kind of felt they had to implement there. Just to kind of make the games a little bit more enjoyable. Apart from that though, there aren't any other kind of things that are disallowed, so as much as you can't use like flashback Ibra, people still use, for example, like Inform Hulk, things like that, like players from like the Chinese Super League, or like a special version of like Lozano because he's in like the Dutch league. So players like that are still eligible off the bench, I should say. I mean, you probably could use it in the start 11. I've not tried it myself. I find it best to just start with 11 players in the squad and then use like a player. Well, I say like I find it. I didn't do it this way. I shouldn't say I find it like that. I didn't actually do it. I didn't use any players like that. But I would imagine what I would do is I started with 11 players and then I would have had like Lozano or whatever coming off the bench. I'm not sure if it would work with Lozano starting and then bringing a common player off the bench. The way I read it is that it would, but yeah, you guys have to let me know if that is doable. But just to make sure you definitely get the objective done, I'd probably start with the 11 players all on the pitch and then just do whatever you want with the subs. Gervinho is the same kind of concept, except this time instead of obviously French league players, it's going to be Serie A players, and you do need to win an extra match as well. It is 8 for that particular card. But all in all, guys, they're not really that difficult, to be honest. I mean, the frustrating thing is obviously that people bringing players off the bench. That can get a little bit infuriating, but I found most of the time that it didn't really make too much of a difference. Sometimes it did. Sometimes you'd lose a game maybe like 1-0, and that would be kind of the difference. But in general, if I was going to beat my opponent, I'd beat them anyway. You know what I mean? Like the couple of players wouldn't really make too much of a difference. And I got these objectives done fairly quickly. Like, I don't know how many games I've played, so like 11 matches there with a French league team to pick up like 7 wins. And what we're saying, where's my goalkeeper for this one? I don't have a goalkeeper there. We'll go for Lapadula. I'm pretty sure he played every game. So 12 matches to pick up 8 wins with the Serie A team. So to be honest, it didn't really take me that long. I won like a lot of the matches I played, but I want to talk through. I'll talk through the squads and I'll show you guys a few goals which are scored and stuff like that, just to kind of prove that like a couple of players are actually like the real deal. And the sort of players I'm recommending to you guys if you do want to pick them up if you haven't done these objectives yet, just to make it a little bit easier for you. So we'll start with the one to get Naldo with the French league team. So what I've gone for is Areola in goal. Honestly, I think he's fantastic. I mean, I can't really kind of show you any clips of like saves and stuff like that because they're difficult to kind of capture, and I'm not going to troll through like hours and hours of gameplay footage just to get a couple of saves. You kind of have to just trust me on that one, but he's the highest rated one, so you think he'd be the best anyway. We've got Bunasar at right back, who is a decent player. Centre backs are Perrin and Mboji, although Martin Tyler seems to call him Mbodi. He seems to completely disregard the J in his name. Left back, I've got a Marvi. Now, originally I didn't have him. Originally I actually had, there was somebody else I had, I can't remember the name. I'll see if I can find it. What it was is I didn't do too well at the start with the French league team. First couple of matches were a little bit difficult for me, and then from there I kind of stepped it up a notch. I'm not sure who I actually had. Oh, it was Kazawa. I had Kazawa, but he has high-low work rates and he didn't really work very well for me, so I ended up changing to a Marvi. In midfield, we got Thiago Mendes, who looks like a pretty solid card. Very, every stat is at least 70. This guy here, I mean, honestly, he's a must-have. I'm going to say to you guys right now, you need to buy Morgan Sanson. Look at those stats. It's an absolute no-brainer. If you're going to turn down him, then you're just putting yourself at a massive disadvantage. It's the amount of people I played that didn't have him. I was just crazy. Cam's Remy Cabella, he's phenomenal. 6 goals in 12 games. He's top notch. To be honest, I really rated him. I've got a couple of goals which he scored to show you guys. He was really good. Right mid, we got Maxwell Corner, 5-star weak foot, which is so useful. And that is the same with Limbombe on the left. He also has 5-star weak foot. 4-star skills with him as well. So yeah, 2 5-star weak foot players on the wing, both really quick as well. Very useful players. The striker position is a bit of a problem for this particular league. I've ended up going for Saman Godos. Only 3-star weak foot. You can see he's got 3 goals in 8 games, but he did get 5 assists. So as you can kind of see by the stats, the way he kind of played for me, he wasn't necessarily a goal scorer, but he was very good at linking the play up and bringing the other players into the game and helping them to play better. I think out of those 3 goals, he literally scored them in like his last 2 games. So after 6 matches, he hadn't actually scored. He was like really bad at finishing for me. It's understandable. 70 finishing, 75 composure. You don't really expect him to be that good, but he missed a lot of sitters for me. But unfortunately, there's not really any other options. I mean, I did go for Jovetic. You see he's on my bench. My 3 subs which I used were Gradle, Jovetic, and OR. So Jovetic was okay, but he was just a bit too slow. And I felt like him not being able to like stretch down into the various channels and create space for others was kind of limiting the overall play of the whole team. So I decided to go for Godos. Gradle, to be fair, like Gradle and OR, I didn't really use them too much. I couldn't give you like a proper kind of recommendation on them. I mean, from what they did alright, but in general, I didn't really use the subs too much in this team. Like most of the time, the game was kind of wrapped up and done before I needed to use the subs. So I wouldn't want to say like, oh, they're like insane or they're terrible. You know what I mean? Like just kind of average performances from them. But that's the particular team I use, guys. Obviously, 4-2-3-1 works really well for me. It's my favourite formation. I do actually change. Obviously, this is one with the wide players. I do change to the 4-2-3-1 with the like 3 cams, so they're like a little bit narrower. But yeah, it works pretty well. Obviously, like I said, I'll talk about the next team, but just before I do that, guys, I do want to show you guys a couple of goals. I think I've got about 6. I think it's 6 for each team, so nothing major. It's not going to be like loads and loads of clips of stuff that you guys don't really need to see. But yeah, a couple of goals, just kind of as proof really about Cabella and a couple of other players who may have just chipped in with the odd goal. So yeah, enjoy. So surprisingly, guys, the first goal which you can see is actually from my right back, which is Bunasar. Incredibly, what a good finish off the post there. Yeah, I would have thought that if you guys could have bet on which player would have been the first goal scorer in this video, I don't think you would have asked, you would have predicted the right back, but he did pretty well for me, and that goal was very kind of deserved of being in this kind of highlights reel, I suppose, and it did actually make this guy quit in the game. It was 4-1. Next goal is going to be from Godos. Not really the most spectacular goal, but he didn't really score many, and the ones he did score weren't as spectacular, but I felt like I kind of need to get him in there. The rest of them are all Remy Cabella. The other 4 goals which are going to be on here, and you will see like all of them are top quality, every single one. He really did not mess about when it came to striking the ball, sticking it in the back of the net. He finished expertly well at all times. Variety of goals like off both feet. Didn't even see a free kick right at the end. So he did fantastically well. But all in all, the team, to be honest, they spread the goals out pretty well. A lot of them just weren't really kind of that worthy, I would say, of getting in here. The quality of players you would expect to score like amazing goals anyway, so I only put in a couple just to save it from being, just flooded with pointless goals. But that was a pretty good finish there off his right foot. Obviously saw before he did all his left as well. And he was the main man really, with Godos not really putting that many in the back of the net. It did come down to Cabella quite a lot to be able to dispatch it in key moments he did, and obviously he's just going to end it with a free kick. It's a top-notch free kick. But yeah, after this, guys, it's going to be time to have a look at the next squad. And here it is. Right then, guys, so here's the second squad for Gervinho, Serie A squad, of course. So again, like we said before, same concept, just has to be all non-rare. Now this one is actually, probably in my opinion, a little bit better. I found it a little bit easier to win games with this particular team, just because there's one or two players who are just incredible. They are like completely next level. They probably shouldn't be non-rare, to be honest. But surprisingly, not everyone used them. I said it before, like in the case with Sanson, you play against so many people who have like obviously the same kind of idea of a squad, but they just don't seem to be able to pick out the correct players. It's like they just don't really look at the stats of the players. They just kind of throw in some players they got on their club and just hope for the best. Whereas like I've actually kind of structured my teams and planned them, and I feel like that's why giving a massive edge in a lot of the games. But yeah, this particular side, we got Mirante in goal. Yeah, 80 rated again. I think he's probably one of the highest rated ones out there. You look at his stats, like 82 diving, 82 reflex, 8 handling, 78 position. He's a very, very solid goalkeeper. 6'4". Yeah, not too bad at all. Right back on for Malqui now. I think Abate is an option. Abate is definitely an option. And I feel like probably a lot of people go for him just because of obviously what he's been like in previous FIFAs. But for me, I feel like Malqui is probably the better option in today's game. Centre back's got Tonelli and Zapata. Left back is Ansaldi now. He's actually pretty good, to be fair. He only has 78 pace, but there aren't really any that are like that quick. They're out there, to be honest. 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, high medium work rates. You can see it cost me 3,000 coins. Now that kind of says a lot about the impact of him having such good, well-rounded stats. Is that it really, really helps him in the game. And the 79 dribbling, I think on the ball, it then means that because he only got 78 pace, it doesn't really matter too much in general. And a lot of time you don't, like the way I play, I don't tend to kind of like bomb forward with my fullbacks anymore. I kind of have them to like hold positions, so the pace isn't really too much of a factor. It's more about having like good defensive stats and good kind of like ball control, things like that. So yeah, he works pretty well. The midfielders were okay, I would say. Like the CDMs were okay. We had Pellegrini, he only picked up 1 goal in 12 games. Bersa got 1 goal. It was actually a banging free kick. I'm not sure if I've got a clip of that one. It might have been in a game where the guy rage quit. That was one of the big issues with like getting clips of goals. Like I wasn't always filming like an entire game, so I would literally just kind of I'd wait till like the highlights reel at the end and just pick them out of there. And if you scored a goal and your opponent quit, it wouldn't go into the highlights reel. And a couple of times I scored an absolute fucking banger, and I'd be like, brilliant, I've lost it, like I don't have the goal. But it is what it is. Yeah, he's okay, 4-star. He's a pretty big boy. He's probably not as agile as I would have liked him to be, but he did a job. Sansone and Cam, 3 goals. Honestly, not a great return. I feel like for the ability that he has and the way that he played, he should have scored so many more. But in general, I couldn't fault him, to be honest. He did really well. I wouldn't have swapped him. At no point did I ever think I want to change this guy. Right wing, we've got Cengiz Under. He was pretty good as well. Like, again, only 1 goal, but to be honest, he didn't do a lot wrong. Like he was a threat at all times. El Shaarawy was just incredible. 7 goals and 4 assists in 12 matches. 5-star skills as well. So for any of you skillers out there, what a card. 87 pace, 83 dribbling. 76 shooting, 71 passing. Yeah, 81 overall. I mean, an 81 overall non-rare, straight away you're sort of looking at that thinking, well, he's probably going to be out of all non-rares kind of top end, isn't he, really? Like, a lot of 81s are rare. There's a lot of 75s that are rare. And you look at his stats, and I don't really know why he isn't a rare. But we'll take it. He did phenomenally well for us. And then up front, we've got Lapadula. He got 6 goals in 12 games with 2 assists. Average striker, to be honest, I would say. He probably should have scored more again, for considering the chance. He had only 3-star for his star. 81 pace being his highest stat, not great. He's not exactly that quick. 76 dribbling is okay. 73 shooting is a bit average. No kind of like passing or physical stats. So in general, not one of the best strikers out there. Pretty similar to the Frenchie with Godosh. Just a very, very average striker, kind of got the job done. But in an ideal world, he would have been a better finisher, because then it would have allowed me to kind of rattle through these objectives a lot quicker. But that's what you're kind of dealing with non-res. That is kind of part and parcel of it. So yeah, that is obviously there. Again, I'm just going to quickly show you guys a couple of clips, some goals, and then I'll have a final kind of like recap, I suppose, and a couple little tips as well, just when like finding matches. But yeah, enjoy the goals. So guys, with this team, the highlights was kind of like pretty similar kind of structure to the other one. We start off with a pretty kind of shoddy goal, but again, it's with Lapadula, so similar kind of situation to Godos, where I just felt that I had to kind of include him, you know what I mean? He's the striker, he's supposed to be the goal scorer, let's get him involved, and obviously a really scrappy goal. We have another free kick, this time it was Bessa. I mean, what a strike that was, he just fucking banged that straight in. I mean, that was incredible. Probably even better than the Cabela one. And now we move on to a player who did actually net 4 of the goals in this particular reel, and that's El Shaarawy. Again, he was same kind of level as Cabela, absolutely incredible, the main man in this particular team. So he scored a brilliant goal there. This is like a pretty decent header as well, back across the goalkeeper, kind of looped over the top of him. Which is pretty impressive. I didn't really know that he had that sort of thing in his locker. A really good cross from Cengiz Ünder as well. It was a weaker foot, so that's kind of all the, you know, I said that he was quite good, even though his record didn't really kind of suggest it. You know, pinpoint accuracy cross from him. A couple other goals from El Shaarawy. This one was just all about pure strength and determination. It looked like he lost the ball, but he managed to win it back there and slip it past the keeper. Pretty cool finish. Very, very impressed by him in general. And yeah, one more goal, see guys, but that's pretty much it really for the goals. Nothing overly impressive. Just one more goal from El Shaarawy, quite similar. It's almost like a David Villa-esque goal. Curls it right to the top right corner. But yeah, that was it. Alright guys, so yeah, obviously I've been through the squads, you know, you've had a look, you've seen some of the goals, there's a bit of evidence there. Hopefully that's kind of enough for you to get that done. Now obviously there's, you know, you don't have to go for those particular players, you know, there's going to be other players out there that are still going to get the job done, that are decent players. There's some decent wingers out there in fairness which I didn't use. I think especially like on the left side in the French league there was quite a few options, so feel free to try some different players. Obviously let me know what players have worked for you. I just want to quickly touch on, I don't know if I call it like an issue. I mean, in my opinion, it's an issue, but basically what happens, guys, is when you search a game, it'll probably happen now actually. If I quickly go into a game, obviously I won't actually enter the match, but we'll see if we can find an example here. Obviously everybody else, there's still going to be a lot of people that are still trying to do this objective right now, so we'll just quickly see what kind of opponent we get. So Shigra Sly, that's an example. So that's where people do these things where they try to get 3 wins, or they, like, if they don't say that, they'll say, oh, like first goal wins or golden goal, just kind of like loads of nonsense like that. And basically what people just want like a quick way to get the objective done. FGU first goal, there you go. Another guy there who he literally just wants a nice quick easy game. Sometimes I went along with it, like obviously I don't have my squad's names as that, so at no point do I actually feel like I kind of agreed to this. I still play against people that say that, because you know what, I'm like, okay, well, if you want to do it and I score the first goal, and fair enough, I'll take the win, I'm not going to complain. But I don't want to kind of actively go out and play it like that. If, you know, in an ideal world, I'll play the games properly. I'd like to do the objective properly, because for me, the whole point of this is it's something to grind to over the week. And that is the whole purpose of these objectives. And I think that's what everybody kind of been asking for in these objectives as well, is something to grind for. People have been complaining there's nothing to do in the week other than like div rivals or whatever. Well, here's the thing you can do, guys. This EA are giving you stuff to do. Why are you trying to speed it up and then give yourself nothing to do? Like, I don't understand. So yeah, it kind of annoys me a little bit, but then I'm not going to sit here and say that I haven't benefited from it, because that's just kind of the way it's gone. You know, I'm not going to sit there and just like wait for a match where I'm playing somebody that doesn't say that, because that's just going to waste so much of my time. So, you know, in some cases, if I did score first, my opponent quit, I was like, you know what, fair enough, I'll take that. There were some instances where my opponent scored first. Sometimes I quit, sometimes I didn't. Like, honestly, I'm not going to say I quit every time, because I didn't agree to it. So I didn't really feel like I had to. it was different. It just depended really. Like sometimes there was one situation where a guy scored a penalty against me, and it literally was never a penalty. It was a classic FIFA penalty. I was like, you know, I'm not going to quit for that, and I ended up actually beating him on a penalty shootout in the end. And he sent me a barrage of messages. He was fuming, which I could sort of understand, but at the same time, I was like, you know what, mate, I'm not exactly obliged to do this. You know, you have no right to be like, oh yeah, like I should have won the game. Like just fuck off. But then there was an instance where I played against a guy. He said first goal wins, and he scored an absolute banger against me. And I was like, you know what, mate, like fair play. You've earned that. Like just, you know, go take your win, move on to the next one. Like it just depends. It honestly depends on the opponent. So yeah, that's obviously something to kind of look out for, guys. You know, if you want to get it done quicker, then yeah, feel free. I mean, everybody else is doing it, so why not? But I don't agree with it, but it is what it is. There is obviously an objective for Zlatan as well. A centre back Zlatan Ibrahimovic. As you see, I've done 6 out of 9 games so far. That literally just involves using an MLS squad. It doesn't have to be common. It's just a whole MLS squad. I'm not going to talk through that right now. I'm not going to show any sort of stuff about it because I feel like you guys know kind of the best MLS players that are out there. You know, it's not as if you're going to look for any hidden gems. It's literally just your classic, like your Martinez, your Ibra, Opara, people like that. You know, there's been loads of MLS squads you've had to do before, so I don't really need to talk too much about that. But yeah, that's nearly done. I'll probably drop my squad on my Twitter, just to show you guys what actually did get the job done for me. But yeah, that is going to be it for this particular video, guys. I realise it is kind of a little bit longer. Obviously, there's a little bit to get through. I didn't really want to split it into 2 because I didn't really see much point. I feel like it's just kind of all kind of the top. It's all on like a topic of the same thing, so there's no point splitting it into 2. But it's a little bit longer, but hopefully it's been pretty useful for you guys, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. You know, just seeing like if there's any players in my squads that you know you thought, oh, I didn't realise that they were going to be quite good, and it's kind of interesting in that sort of way. So yeah, if you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like, comment to let me know what you think about these objectives, and also any players which you've used, which I haven't, and just kind of let me know. You never know, I might try them out. I've got a lot of cheap squads on the go anyway at the moment, so you know I'm just kind of trying out loads of players I haven't used, so I'm completely open to that. So let me know about that. Obviously, you can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That would be much appreciated. But yeah, that is it from me, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later.